Hello, Robin. Happy Tuesday. Hi, Mary. Gabrielle, Marilyn. Hello, hello. Lois, how's everybody doing on this gorgeous Tuesday? It was a great day today. Hey, Christine, Barbara. Hello, everyone. As you're popping on, say hi so we know who's joining us. All right. So we're going to do part two of ink blended backgrounds. We talked a little bit last week about some inks. We were talking about dye inks, or we were talking about dye inks. Last week was distress inks and lawn fawn inks. This is a digital download that you can find on the website. So if you search digital downloads, this is a free download that talks about all the different kinds of inks and then what all of the inks that we carry in the store are. So Lawn Fawn is a dye ink. Distress ink is a dye ink. Today we are going to talk about Archival ink, which is also a dye ink, and Distress Oxide, which is a hybrid combination of dye ink and pigment ink mixed together. Hey, Marianne. So we are going to talk about those. And we also talked about using blending brushes last week. So if you missed last week, you might want to watch the replay. But today, the inks that we're using, I like to use the blending tools that have the sponges. So this is the flat sponge, and this is the domed sponge. I just started liking the domed sponge just because I was so used to this flat sponge, but it does really help when you're using the blending, the handle instead of the brush. So it helps because you are going to start off the paper and come back on. So with the domed edge, helps you get onto the paper easier. Hey, Susan. Okay, so this is a sample of a blend that I did with oxides. So it was oxide inks and dome sponges. I'm going to do another one, but I just wanted to show you. This is fossilized amber, saltwater, taffy, and speckled egg. So we're going to do another one with broken china and, of course, my favorite, Uncharted Mariner. And then we are also going to blend with archival inks. And I feel like a lot of people don't really realize that you can blend with archival inks. So these are two of Wendy Vecchi's archival ink colors, Periwinkle and Night Sky. And I'm only going to use this one blender brush. So that means I'm going to start with the lighter color, Periwinkle, and then I'm going to work with Night Sky. So, hey, Janice. So let's start there. Let's start with blending with archival ink. So if you've got some archival inks in your stash, or if you've got those little minis, you can absolutely use those to blend with. All right, so we are going to start with Periwinkle. All right, let's get some ink on this. Now, like we did with the blending brushes, after you get some ink on there, see, I've got some ink, you're going to start same on a glass or a craft mat, a non-porous surface. Start off your paper. A lot of times when you get those circles or those lines like this, you start with circles like that and then you can't blend them out. It's because you didn't start off the paper. All right, you started right on the paper. So if you ink up your sponge, hey Renee, is that you? And start your circles off your paper. and then kind of come on your paper, there's less of a chance that you're going to get those circles, those outlines. Now, archival ink is a bit trickier. It's not as forgiving, I'm just going to tell you right now, as the distress inks or the water reactive non-permanent inks, okay? So it takes a little bit of practice before. So if you've got a project that is like going to be your masterpiece and you're going to do some ink blending on it, you might want to practice first. Don't go right to that masterpiece. But it's definitely possible to do your ink blending with archival. And then once this dries, this is permanent, so you can work on top of this again. Okay? So it won't, once it dries, it shouldn't react with a water-based product. Now, if you dripped alcohol on here or spilled some vodka, it might react, okay? Because alcohol will react with the archival, all right? Did a class with Wendy Becky, and we actually did some splattering with alcohol. It was watered down alcohol, but that's how you can get the archival to blend. All right, so that is the lighter color. That is the periwinkle. All right, now I'm going to go to night sky, and I'm going to use the same blending tool. I'm not even going to clean it off because it's a lighter color. All right. Whoa, I'm getting crazy with my blending over here. Okay. And I'm not even going to clean off my glass because the lighter blue won't mess up my color. So I'm starting off the paper and I'm coming on. Now see, I got some of those lines because it's a darker color, even though I started off, but I think I can buff those out, kind of like when you get a scratch on your car, you buff it out. All right. And I think I talked last week about how pressing hard and wearing out your arm isn't necessarily going to get you where you want to go faster. All right. So it's just layers and layers. And now I'm going to go over that seam with the night sky. And then I'm going to get crazy and go back into my periwinkle. Now, I might dab off some of the darker ink, on my flower sackcloth. All right. And then go in here and just kind of bring that other color back over the seam. And ta-da! Oops, trying to put the whole ink head on the lid. Okay, so you can get a nice blend with archival inks. All right, and that is using our blending tool. That periwinkle really makes that sponge look purple, doesn't it? But it's not purple. Okay, so that's the archival ink. Now, let's wipe this off here. I might actually give it a spritz. Of course, I can't find my isopropyl alcohol sprayer. I think my brother stole it to clean my machine. All right. And we'll do some blending with oxides. Now, I had mentioned last week that I do use the sponges with the oxides, and the reason I do is because of the pigment ink. The pigment ink, because it's more opaque, get your brushes kind of goopy. Now, I know that there are a lot of people that use their brushes with their oxides, and it's probably because they clean their brushes each time. I'm not much of a cleaner. So I just use the sponges so that my brushes don't get goopy. All right. So I'm going to use the dome foam on the handle, and I'm going to start with the Uncharted Mariner because I'm going to do separate sponges. Now, see, you can see with the oxide, even on my glass mat, you can see the color. So this is really a much more opaque ink, which is going to make blending in your seam between your colors a lot easier, okay? I mean, it just, look at, you get some awesome coverage right off the bat. The delay seems to be getting extended. And my screen on my laptop is blurry. Are you guys seeing a blurry screen? Is everything all right? Can you hear me? Can you see what I'm doing? Halfway through, and now I'm just now asking you. All right, so see, that is a really good coverage and not a lot of work with the oxides. All right, and that is because of that combination of the dye and the pigment, which makes it more opaque. It comes and goes, huh? Let me see what's going on. Well, on my phone, it's not blurry, so I don't know if it's my internet connection or what. So I'm sorry about that. At least you can hear me, right? Oh, jeez. Oh, technology. All right, so this is broken china. And these blues are my favorites, really. So I'm going right in with the broken china. This one isn't as new of an ink pad. I also, sorry, I'm like two thoughts at once. I like to put a piece of scrap paper over so my fingerprint, oh my God, my fingers don't leave prints, Lord, on the color because of the oils on my skin. So you'll see the fingerprints definitely a lot more with the oxides. I can't explain why, but it's the truth. All right, so we're getting that broken china here, and I'm going to blend on the seam. So you can see already, got a really good blend at the seam. But I am going to come back in and go over it with our very good friend Broken China. Jeez, I need to go back to bed. Our very good friend Uncharted Mariner. And you can see, well, there's no seam, basically. Those colors just blended right in together. Yeah, yesterday, words are hard today. All right. So, and that's with two blues. Now you can see on this too, even with colors that aren't alike, the yellow and the fossilized amber into the saltwater taffy, really good blend. And then even into the speckled egg, and you barely got a mix of color. Now there is a little bit of a mix of color with the speckled egg and the saltwater taffy, but not much with the other two. And that again is because these inks are opaque. So to me, they make the seams more forgiving because you can cover them up. Mary Konopka is asking, do I have a preferred ink to blend with? It's a hard question to answer because it depends on what I'm doing. And it also depends on the colors. I love my distress colors, and my regular distress inks are my go-tos. I use them a lot. But since I've been doing a lot of Lawn Fawn, I use the Lawn Fawn inks to blend too, and those do a good blend as well. Now, I don't dislike Oxides or Archival. They have a time and a place, but they aren't my go-to. So I'll say that my two favorites would be regular distress inks, and Lawn Fawn inks. Now, I haven't used every ink out there, and some inks aren't awesome for blending. Like the Catherine Pooler inks, I haven't tried ink blending with those because those are really the ink pads are really spongy and they're really inked up. They're goopy, which is perfect for easy coverage to use the Catherine Pooler colors to make yourself solid cardstock, which is one of the things that that line is known for. And it's also known for getting really good stamped images on the clear silicone stamps, and that's because they're spongy and gooey. I mean, that's just how they are. I might try ink blending with those. I don't know how it would work. But like I said, I haven't used every ink. Um, Now there's inks that you're not really going to blend. You're not going to blend with Stays On. That's not necessarily a blending ink. VersaFine might be tricky because it dries super fast. So I guess it depends on which VersaFine you're doing. And I think that Memento is probably an okay ink to blend with too because it's a dye water-based ink. Okay. But we're just talking about what I've got experience with, and that's these 4 that we've covered so far. So think of some questions if you have any. I am going to throw a little challenge out there to you guys that involves a prize. All right. So the last 2, tonight and last week, the last 2 technique talks, we've talked about background ink blending with dye inks and Oxide, which is a hybrid dye and pigment ink. Okay. So any of the 4 inks that we used, Distress Regular, Distress Oxide, Archival, or Lawn Fawn, are what could be used. You could use Memento if that's what you have. Whatever ink that you have that you could blend with, I challenge you to do a 3-color blend, and share it on your Facebook page, but use the hashtag Technique Talk Ink. All right, no space in the ink. I just wrote too big. So use the hashtag Technique Talk Ink, and in 2 weeks, so I don't know, around June 16th ish. I don't have a calendar in front of me. I'm just adding 14 days to today, and I'm thinking that's about June 16th ish. I am going to search this hashtag, and everybody who has posted a blend, the 3-color blend with a dye-based ink, will be put into a pot for a drawing, and I will draw randomly for an awesome prize. I don't know what it's going to be yet, but you know that Scrappy Chic always does great prizes. And we will announce the winner on whatever that following technique talk is. Okay, so that is to try a 3-color blend with a dye ink with your brushes or your blending tools, whatever you want. Post a picture on your own Facebook page or Instagram. You can do Instagram too if you're an Instagram user, using the hashtag Technique Talk Ink, INK. Not incorporated, but ink, INK. And at the end of the day on the 16th, I will search the hashtag on Facebook and on Instagram. And everybody who participated will be put in the hat for a drawing. I am not going to post this on our Facebook page. This is exclusive for you people who are watching us live and watch the replays on our YouTube channel. So yes, if you're watching the replay, you can join also. All right. So I look forward to seeing what you're doing. I just want to get you guys showing me if you're learning anything with these techniques that we're doing. I really want to see. So there you go. The gauntlet has been thrown down, and I hope that you will all participate in the challenge because, well, you know, I like giving away prizes. All right. So again, another technique talk that went over a few minutes, but I hope that it has been informative. And I'm seeing that nobody really has any questions. So I am going to say good night. Thanks for joining us. We have Scrappy Chat on Saturday. Don't forget about that at 9:30 on this same YouTube channel. And I don't know. That's it. That's all I got. Enjoy the sun and the warm weather. And I am sure we will be seeing you soon. Thank you.